I'm really excited. NFL draft episode, ladies and gentlemen. We break away from baseball talk, at least for one episode, to talk the upcoming NFL draft. Let's see, right now, tonight's the 19th. The draft is in what, a week and a half? Thursday, the
Yep. 20, actually
20,
10 days. 10 days.
10 days from now, which probably by the time the episode is up, it'll be a week, or because we usually upload on
About a
Thursday.
week away, yeah.
So, a lot can happen. I love the draft. It's so interesting to see. So I'm excited for this episode.
Yeah, so let's get down to it then.
Shut up and sit down. Romantic, isn't it?
We all know who's going first, right? Number one. I'm pretty sure we're
Trevor
all.
Lawrence.
Yeah, we're all on the same page here. Okay.
Trevor Lawrence is
Ye-
the best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck. It's true. He's just a mega talent. That doesn't mean he's going to be an Andrew Luck, but I don't think we've had a clear number one like this since 2012 with Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
I mean, he just has the look. He just has the experience in the big games. He's, physically dominant, big, strong arm. He has the personality of a starting quarterback, which is very important. So I think he's the clear number one. And Jacksonville, look, they've made a lot of really good moves this off season. I mean, just looking, they brought in on defense Shaquille Griffin. They brought in Marvin Jones as a wide receiver. Carlos Hyde in the backfield, who's a good veteran. Sidney Jones. They went out and they really spent the money in free agency to try and build a team around their number one overall pick, Trevor Lawrence. So I think it's pretty clear he's heading to Jacksonville. Oh yeah, they also brought in Urban Meyer. And we'll see how he does jumping from college to the pros. But Urban Meyer's won everywhere. He won at Utah, he won at Florida, and of course he won at the Ohio State. So can he make that jump from college to the pros? Some have done it well, like Pete Carroll, and some not so much, like Nick Saban. So we'll have to see.
What's the prediction on the Jaguars this year then, if he were to get drafted by them?
If the with the Jaguars being smart, taking Trevor Lawrence at 1, and then later with the 25th pick via the Rams, I have him also taking Travis Etienne, his running back at Clemson. I still think this team is far away from truly competing when you look, even with the Houston Texans being the garbage fire that they are right now.
I look at
the Tennessee Titans and the Colts, I think, are definitely the teams that are still going to be the ones to beat right now. I do think the Colts are probably the favorites to win that division because the things that they've done so far, I'm a big fan of. I think Carson Wentz is going to thrive once again, especially reuniting with Frank Reich. He gets a much better offensive line. He has his best complement of weapons all around him. He's got a top 10 defense. Colts are going to be a team to watch out for. And if Carson Wentz could be healthy, watch out.
Yeah. for
I'm
sure.
not saying they're going to be in the stratosphere of the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs, but they'll be much better than they were with Philip Rivers last year and
Right.
Jacoby Brissett.
And I mean, keep in mind, even with Rivers had a decent season and they still got to the wild card game and we're pretty close to knocking off the Bills, who were, a cream of the crop team that you just mentioned. I mean, you hope that Wentz in a new situation and with Frank Reich, where he had success in an MVP-esque season back in 2017, can get back because Philly kind of ruined him once Frank Reich left, and there were a lot of injuries with Wentz and with the rest of the Eagles, and so you hope to see him succeed again in Indy. So certainly it'll be a challenge for Lawrence in Jacksonville, but you just can't ignore the talent, and he's the type of guy that's, I was actually looking at first round quarterbacks drafted since 2010 and how many have been solid. I mean,
Not many.
Cam Newton was great. Andrew Luck. Tannehill needed a team change.
Tannehill needed no Adam Gase.
Patrick Mahomes. I know he's
Deshaun
having
Watson.
off-field issues, notwithstanding Deshaun Watson. I like Baker. I like Josh Allen, Lamar, Kyler Murray, and then last year, I think Tua, you're still not sold on. Joe Burrow, injury issues, but it's too early to tell. But Justin Herbert seems to be the best out of last year. But
I
that's like,
love watching.
there's several years where we've had misses. And I don't think it's necessarily because of the talent that those quarterbacks are as athletes. I think it's the situation you get into. So I actually want to go to number 3, and we'll talk about number 2, the Jets, here in a second. But I want to go to number 3 because I think whoever goes to the 49ers is in the best fit. And I'll give you a reason why. San Francisco has a coach, an A to A plus coach in Kyle Shanahan. They have a great defense.
You really want to put him at that A+ rank? I can't put him at that A+. Maybe A.
Good
I would
GM.
feel more comfortable saying a B+.
Good GM, great tight end, and B receivers. It's a good situation for whomever goes to San Francisco, which right now we're looking at 2 or 3 possible options for them, with the assumption that Zach Wilson is number 2 to the Jets. We're looking at Mac Jones, who a lot of rumors are coming out about him. Now, the thing with San Francisco is they're not really a team that rumors come out of very often. I mean, John Lynch becomes the GM, and one of his things was he did not like rumors. And so I'm not really buying this Mac Jones thing. I think Mac Jones, if anything, he's going to be a guy that a team like the Patriots would trade up to get, around 5 or 6, maybe even earlier if they think San Francisco is serious about getting him. But you also have Justin Fields and then Trey Lance. I mean, those are the 3 quarterbacks that are likely to land in San Francisco. But whomever they draft is going to come into the best situation.
Let me go back to what you were talking about, Kyle Shanahan being an A+ coach. He's not.
Coach.
You can't
He's an
be.
A
You
coach.
can't. No. You shut up now. You shut up now. My time to talk. You can't call him an A+ coach. I don't think you can even call him an A coach. You can call him a B+ coach. He's a very good offensive coach. but in the biggest stages, he's had two of the biggest collapses at least of our lifetimes in Super Bowls. You infamously were leading the 28-3 offense. And you had a 10-point lead with 10 minutes left against Patrick Mahomes with Jimmy Garoppolo. And if he makes that throw to Emmanuel Sanders, splitting the defenders deep, and it's just a foot better, totally different story. We're not thinking of them needing a quarterback. We have them getting the quarterback. So when I look at Kyle Shanahan and what the best fit is there, I love the idea of Justin Fields in that Kyle Shanahan offense. Absolutely love it. Now, I'm early on in the draft process, mock draft process. I thought that, he would be a shoo-in slam dunk for number 2 for the Jets, but it looks like they're going to go Zach Wilson from BYU, who, after watching his film, yeah, there's a lot to like in it, but at the same time,
Justin
Mac
Fields,
Jones, I just don't really believe that much on. Like, I'm not as high up on Mac Jones. It's really, when was the last time there was a good Alabama quarterback that succeeded in the NFL? It's been a long time. Now, yes, I like Tua, but, and yes, he had a tough rookie year, coming off the injured hip, coming into a pandemic, situation as a rookie quarterback. It's a very difficult situation, especially when you're going from Alabama to Miami, who's been well coached, and they have established a lot of talent, and they're, doing fantastic work with the Laramie Tunsil trade, constantly getting these first round picks. Fantastic for them. And that's why San Francisco in the spot, because if Houston had that number 3 pick, they're not trading out of it. There's no way. But it was for Miami. Miami was able to leverage it to San Fran. Now, we've talked enough about San Fran, I feel like. The next interesting pick is
Well,
definitely that number 4 pick.
Do you mind if I comment real quick? What happens with
Sure.
Jimmy G in that scenario?
Jimmy G, I think he is on the roster for this year. He's going to be a 49er in 2021. 2022 is where I could see him possibly moving on to another team.
Do you even
But
think
if I were a team to trade for him, if there was a team that should trade for him, it's probably the Bears. But, that's where quarterbacks go to die.
Mhm. So if Justin Fields goes to San Fran, who do you think Mac's going to? Because Mac's really high on the radar this year.
New England.
I
Good
have
job.
him falling to number 15 to the Patriots. And that's where I have him going as of right now. I don't think. Now, is that really going to happen? I'm not sure. But the idea of 5 quarterbacks going in the top 10, I just don't see how that many teams. It could happen. It's just I don't see that happening as very likely. And the 4th quarterback I have going,
Trey Lance.
I have Trey Lance, and I think the Falcons are going to trade out of that spot. They've been rumored to be wanting to trade out of that spot, and I think the Denver Broncos are that kind of desperate team. Drew Lock, I'm not entirely sure if they truly believe in him. They have a new general manager in charge now in Denver. It's no longer John Elway. And they had a lot of they invested. They went all in Drew Lock last year with that draft, getting Jerry Jeudy and KJ Hamler, both those receivers in the top 2 picks last year. So, and Denver did not look very good offensively, albeit there were big injuries like to Courtland Sutton. But I don't know. Broncos went all in on Drew Lock. I think that they see that Mahomes is going to be the king of the division. Justin Herbert's right there. And if you're asking me between Drew Lock and Derek Carr, I think I would pick Derek Carr over Drew Lock. And with people saying that Trey Lance can, be this next great North Dakota State quarterback that, was like Carson Wentz. And his last full season that he played, he did have 20 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. The kid is clearly talented,
On the other side,
but is Denver the right place to, can they
Um,
develop him into that quarterback?
on the other side of the coin, do you see Trey Lance possibly going further down to where the Patriots are, the 15th pick?
I don't think he gets out of the top 10. I could even see Trey Lance going 3.
Really?
I wouldn't be surprised by that at all either. I think right now that number 3 pick is either Lance or Fields, but I would give the edge to Fields.
I would
But
definitely.
if San Fran is committed to Jimmy G at least this year and letting Lance develop, I think that would be, possibly the better overall view. But if you want this kid to, possibly start right now and make a difference now, I think you go Fields.
I agree. Back to number 2 really quick. If I were the Jets, and again, the mock drafts are who you think they're gonna get. I like playing the game who I would get. If I'm GM of the Jets, I'm going with Justin Fields for the simple reason that you mentioned earlier. Who has Zach Wilson really played? What's the level of competition? The best team BYU played this year. Now, albeit there was a pandemic, so their schedule got jumbled as an independent. The best team they played was Coastal Carolina. Now, Coastal Carolina was a good team this year, but Justin Fields is out here playing Big Ten football. He's playing against, Michigans and Indianas and Penn States and some and Clemson and in the college football playoff against Alabama. He's had the big games and the under the lights experience. And he's shined. I'm just not sure you can say the same about Zach Wilson, small town Provo. Can he handle the big lights in New York City? There's gonna be a ton of pressure on him for the Jets and for at least half of the New York fan base who are desperate for winning. Again, which is why it's if I'm one of these top 3 quarterbacks outside of Trevor Lawrence, who I think he's the one guy. Trevor Lawrence is the one guy where it almost doesn't matter the situation he's put in. He's that talented, he can overcome it. The rest of these guys, there's at least a couple of deficiencies in their game where they get in that wrong situation and it's not going to look good. Again, which is why I like San Francisco. I want to talk about 4 though. I think the Falcons stay in on that pick, and I think they go with Kyle Pitts, who is the second best prospect in my opinion outside of Trevor Lawrence.
Now
What do you guys think of?
Out of QB, so
Yeah, Kyle Pitts, tight end out of Florida.
Yeah, give Matt Ryan yet another first-round pick for him to be underwhelmingly with. And then, have you not watched the Falcons? They need defense. They need to build that defense because it was pitiful.
First of all, don't disrespect Matt Ryan. I mean, he's been I think a pretty good quarterback. If you look at, he's always consistent.
I think he's overrated.
If he can get another weapon, he could be good. I mean, he had an MVP season.
Another weapon. Are we kidding me? I am tired of this Matt Ryan defense club. I'm tired of, the Matt Ryan Hive online. What else does he need? His entire offense is full of first rounders. Every pick on the offensive line, first rounder. His wide receivers, first rounders. They traded for Hayden Hurst, first rounder.
I'm a quality over quantity guy. Proven quality is Kyle Pitts.
Well, hold on. So besides that, don't you think Kyle Pitts might be even drafted like a little later only because of the Atlanta situation? Again, I'm on Devin's side a little bit here where, I think Matt Ryan's overrated as well. I mean, that's just my opinion. This isn't.
If Matt Ryan were smart, he'd actually throw to Julio Jones in the red zone, but he's not smart enough to use his best weapons where they're best.
So, do you think at all there's a possibility that Atlanta will go with one of these quarterbacks?
I don't think. I think that'd be a mistake.
If Fields falls, if Fields is there at 4, I think there's legitimate conversations.
That's what I think too. I know there's basically it's like almost like the top
He's a
five.
Georgia kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was at the University of Georgia too. Sorry to spread salt in the wound, Georgia fans, for that little mistake going with Fromm over Justin
Georgia
Fields.
is the land of chokers. Let's be real. Every one of their teams, all they know is choking.
All right, so let's go to the 5th pick then. Cincinnati. Who do they need?
This is Penny Sewell. This isn't even a question.
They need
This is
to
This is the
protect
most obvious pick outside of Trevor Lawrence. If there was a pick that I had to bet the farm on, this is the pick. And if it's not Sewell from Oregon, it's Rashawn Slater from Northwestern. They're going offensive line. They have to. You protect Joe Burrow, who I'm going to disagree with you, JM. I think he actually is. He's proven that, he made the Bengals fun. Do you know how hard that is to do?
Well,
Do you know how hard it is to make the Bengals notable, football?
Baker Mayfield is fun, but is he, a great quarterback? I think there's
He's
still
making them
questions there.
notable.
Exactly. He's making them notable.
He's making them good.
Yeah.
Sorry to hate
Joe
on
Burrow
Baker
made the
Mayfield,
Bengals good. He made them
but injuries
entertaining.
are a question. Injuries
Yeah,
are still a
because
question.
he had no offensive line protecting him, and he tore his ACL. That's what's going to happen when teams are bad. And right now, Bengals are in a full rebuild. They're going to, invest in their number 1 overall pick from last year. It's going to be offensive line. It's, cut, dry, simple as that.
I agree.
You get your generation version of Anthony Munoz is what you hope. And then you have a set or forget it left tackle for the next decade. And you really give Joe Burrow the best chance to develop.
Exactly.
Good throwback, Anthony Munoz. There's a name you haven't heard in a while. Great throwback. He was awesome.
Well, yeah, if you're a Bengals fan, trust me, he's not irrelevant at all. You still see Anthony Munoz jerseys at the games.
Going to go back to Kyle Pitts really quick because you mentioned he's from Florida. So isn't there a chance he might stay in Florida?
Go to Miami.
Yes.
Depends on what they do with that number 6 pick. I think they're going to go for a weapon for sure. Miami. They're going to double down on they're going to try to give Tua as many weapons as possible. And if it's not one of the big 3 receivers, I could see him go for Pitts. And I'm just going to, leap back to my mock. Actually, at 6 from the Dolphins pick that they got from the Eagles, I have them, because why not have a little fun?
Yeah.
I think Jerry is going to go all out and be like, Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in the league, which I don't believe. No. But they're going to invest once again in that offense, help Dak out as much as he can, and I think they trade up and they try to get Kyle Pitts because Jera is infatuated with Pitts. And I just want to see the world burn. I want to see Jerry give up a lot. I want to see Dallas be without 1st-round picks for a few years. Not a few years. They're not going to trade multiple, but not have a 1st round next year. And I just want to have some fun.
Well, I think Kyle Pitts would be worth it, honestly. But I think the draft is going to be important for them because they're very expensive right now. The Cowboys, at running back, a wide receiver, and of course a quarterback. They are and left tackle. They're spending a lot, so they're going to have to build the rest of the team through the draft. But I do really like Kyle Pitts. I think he's the 2nd best prospect outside of Trevor Lawrence.
I'd be surprised to see Dallas go offensively in the draft.
They need defensive help.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or offensive line. I could also see them go O-line. If they were smart.
They're a little more in trouble on the defense, though. Just based off of.
Well, they got Dan Quinn. Come on. What can go wrong there? Dan Quinn's your defensive coordinator.
I feel like they could use.
If anyone knows anything of the past few years, Atlanta defense You want the guy that's been, manning that, who's been coaching that.
I
Right.
guess they could just use a cornerback, like something like that.
Wide receiver wise, I noticed you had Chance over
Jamar
Devon
Chase.
Chase. Jamar Chase over Devontae Smith. I like Smith a lot, man. Oh, he's a great wide receiver.
He's fun to watch.
Oh
But did you
man,
forget how good Jamar Chase was
they're both great.
2
Yeah,
years ago?
right.
It's close between the two. It definitely is close between the two. But I think Jamar Chase gets that nod.
But who does he go to? Your prediction?
I have him actually going 7 to the Lions, replacing Kenny Galladay.
I was kind of hoping he goes to our G-men, but I don't know if that's a logistic.
I don't think he falls all the way to 11, but that's where I do have Devonta Smith going, which would be just oh so fantastic. I would be very,
That'd be
very happy if that
awesome.
happened.
Yeah, exactly. And this is, I find this weird that the Cowboys, the Giants, and the Eagles are like 10, 11, 12. Like we
It's
literally
a good
have
thing the Eagles, really tried in that last game, so that way they could pick at 6 and, get one of these great weapons for Jalen Hurts, only to trade out of that pick.
I have a feeling, I mean, this is just an opinion, but Patrick Sutton, well, I have,
Think-
Patrick Surtain.
yeah, sorry. I have a feeling he's going to go to the Cowboys.
Yeah, he could, if the Cowboys stay at 10, I could see them going there.
Yeah, and then I think it's going to be a toss-up between the Giants and the Eagles with, well, again, if the Giants are able to get Devonta Smith, they need to go for him. I think that's kind of the clear-cut choice there. But then there's this Jalen Waddle guy who's kind of interesting.
He's a burner, man. He is a freak. He can
Yeah.
fly. And the reason that, you don't see the great numbers on him last year is because he was hurt. He had a foot injury. And he even tried to come back in the championship game and made an impact, even in his little touches. Everyone's going to remember Devonta Smith and how he, exploded in the playoffs. And yeah, rightfully so. But Jalen Waddle, it was a 1A, 1B combo with them.
Really
And
gonna say,
for a lot of people, were thinking that Waddle was the number. There were times where Waddle was the top guy there over Smith.
so Devin, if you had to choose for the Giants between those two, you only have those two options.
I would pick Smith because I think the potential with him is a bit higher. Just with his route running, he's the best route runner, I think, Smith. It really depends on what you need, really. Like if you want more of the burner, you go Waddle. If you want more of the route runner receiver, you go with Smith.
The main thing for this draft for the Giants this year is that if Daniel Jones doesn't do good this year, he's out. Like, because
Exactly.
we're just giving you weapons, dude, and you're not doing anything with them. So
Well,
if he
yeah,
doesn't
that's
make-
fair.
Exactly like Dallas.
yeah, if he doesn't make it work this year, then that just shows how
The
bad.
opposite of what Philly does.
Yeah,
Nelson Aguilar.
And we should have
Jalen Rager.
Jalen.
Oh, but he plays the slot.
Jefferson there.
You can't draft Justin Jefferson because he is in the slot. They don't want a slot receiver. They want Jalen Rager, who could go from the outside.
Justin Jefferson.
I had a great
hadn't-
laugh during that pick.
If it hadn't
it
been for
was great.
Herbert's historic season, Justin Jefferson should have been rookie of the year.
Yeah, he had one of the best rookie receiver years since Odell.
I had
Yeah.
both those players in fantasy last year.
All right, well,
Yeah.
before we sign off, are there any other picks that you guys want to talk about?
I just want
Najee Harris. Where do you think
Yeah.
he's going?
to go for it, Jam.
Najee Harris.
Najee.
I think he goes to the Dolphins with their second first round pick. I think you reunite Tua with an Alabama running back, and it's just once again another weapon for this offense. Their defense was sneaky good last year. The Dolphins, they had a good defense. Brian Flores is a great coach. Is a very good coach. especially on the defensive side. He won a lot of games with not a lot of talent. And now he's going to give his year two quarterback a top running back, and you're going to get a good and a top wide receiver because I have Jalen Waddle going to Miami with the 10th pick.
Wow.
Now, if they don't trade down from 6, I think they go Jamar Chase. I would go Jamar Chase over Kyle Pitts if both are available.
So any other trades that you see going on, possibly going down this draft?
I could see Tampa Bay trading out the number 32 pick. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets trade away the number 23 pick and try to get another established weapon. I would, be interested to see, what if they give the number 23 pick to New Orleans and try to get Michael Thomas, give Zach Wilson a good wide receiver to throw to, a good vet.
Yeah, I agree.
Outside of that, there's already we've talked about the rumors of the Dolphins willing to trade out of 6, the Falcons at 4. There's going to be a lot that we find out in the next 10 days about, who's going to make any big moves and who's not.
Yeah,
it's going to be
Of
very
course, on
interesting.
draft night itself, it's coming to Cleveland.
Best reality show of the year.
I love it. I love the draft. I'm a draft guy. So I'm excited. So we got to talk football this time. So exciting. And I want to thank everyone. Got a couple new subscribers. So I want to thank those people. Subscribe and like and share our videos. It means a lot, means the world to us. We're growing, folks. So thank you for watching and enjoy your week. And have a safe,
NFL.
happy, and healthy time. Yeah, we finally aren't talking baseball, but we'll talk baseball next time for all you baseball fans.
I beat, by the way, in fantasy. Crushed it. Anyway, bye.
Mets are better than the Padres.
Boo.